Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I posted a video on the main page of this YouTube channel, but I posted I think a diecast video the other day, and I've been doing a lot of live streams lately. I like engaging with everybody, but I have some really exciting news. I was going to post last night, but got kind of busy. But if you read my articles on Mopar Insiders, you probably seen that I posted on Sunday afternoon that Dodge is accelerating the launch of the Charger SIXPACK. Now, if you're wondering what the heck is a Charger SIXPACK, Dodge is coming out with their all-new Charger. And originally, they were planning on launching basically with the focus on the new Charger Daytona. The Charger Daytona is what Dodge is calling their EV version of the Charger. You're going to have your Charger Daytona EV, and then you're going to have your Charger, six-pack, that's going to just have the Charger name on the car, but it'll say six-pack like under the hood and stuff, and that's going to be your ICE model. Now, that six-pack name is kind of like a throwback to, you might remember the 340 six-pack, like Challenger TAs, and you might remember the 440 six-pack, in like the Cornet Super B and Charger RT. So it's kind of a throwback to that. But what it means is it's a six-pack, meaning inline six, because the new cars are having twin-turbo Hurricane inline six power under the hood. So what makes this article interesting that I wrote is the fact that this is new information. Basically, what they did was they were going to launch the 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona First Edition in the summer of this year. Well, unfortunately, when you have a new architecture, you have an all-new electrical powertrain, you're laying off engineers, you're being it at a new plant, you have a lot of, almost the whole car is completely new. There isn't any really carryover stuff. Maybe some, like the seat belts and maybe a couple of switches from the overhead console from the overhead console's from the Grand Cherokee. But you see what I mean? Like, it's not like anything really from the old cars carrying over. It might be seat belts and stuff, but that's about it. So this car is like almost all new to Dodge. So it's going to take a lot of work to dial this car in. But the problem is when you hit working with this all-new electrical architecture on a new platform, you're going to have problems. These things had major electrical problems during testing. They ironed some of those out. They're still updating software. They're trying to get more range out of the cars. They had several issues with stupid stuff. And then, like right now, my sources are telling me that the cars were hopefully going to be launched or sent to dealers out of containment by the end of the month. However, they're looking at reflashing all the cars one more time at least before they leave containment. And some of the models, a certain spec, I can't remember which one, they were going to replace the shocks because something is not working right with them. So they're trying to do all this stuff to ensure that when they launch this new car, it's not going to be plagued with recalls and issues, and it's just going to be a chaotic mess, okay? Now, there are some cars that are out right now. You might have seen them on Instagram and stuff like that. Like Ralph Shields has one as a tester. Jeff Gale, who is head of design for Dodge, he's got one as a tester. There's a couple product managers that I know have them, going to different dealerships and showing them to the dealers. They have them. And those cars look great. I've seen a couple of them. They actually look really nice. They look very finished. But what we've seen, as you can see in the video on MoparInsiders.com, on our YouTube channel over there, we actually got to sit in one of them and actually see how the infotainment systems and stuff work. And they had a lot of issues with lights and stuff, and that was just because they're still working out software stuff. The catch is, these are 2024 cars, and they probably won't even be launched until closer to Christmas, and 2025 is right around the corner. So Dodge has a lot of work to do. These engineers at Stellantis have a lot of work to get these cars done. But what we're hearing is, actually two of my sources have told me some very interesting news. And a lot of people have thought, if you read the article, I posted in there that, the EPA stuff's about to change because Donald Trump got elected. But the overall thing is, this has really nothing to do with Trump. What it has to do is the demand for the EVs right now in North America. EVs in North America and Europe are falling. The demand for them is like crashing big time, to the point where Stellantis has just announced a few months ago that they're going to spend $110 million revamping the 500e Fiat little mini car that's all electric to have a hybrid engine. So, I mean, because they're not selling. So it's kind of interesting. So Dodge has been plagued in North America right now because obviously they can't get the cars out. Originally, they were going to launch with the Daytona in the summer of this year. Hasn't happened yet. The first quarter originally was supposed to be the new Daytona sedan and both the coupe and sedan versions of the internal combustion cars, the six-pack models. However, Dodge said, hey, we got a lot of stuff going on, or Stellantis said, so we're going to push the six-pack models to late 2025. So we wouldn't probably even see them until fall of 2025. However, with all the issues going on and the demand for electric vehicles coming like declining big time, Dodge has decided that, hey, we're going to push up our production for the six-pack models by 5 months. So what we're going to see is they're going to get these electric cars out, but they're going to take and focus on these gas-powered cars as soon as possible. These internal combustion engine cars, they want those cars in dealers as soon as possible. The problem is when you have these new products and you don't have product in the showrooms, it's not like Stellantis doesn't have a ton of products sitting around on lots. They have an overabundance of products because nobody's buying stuff. But when you have a 2023 car and it's almost 2025 and there was supposed to be a 2024 car out there, it hasn't built up a lot of excitement for the Dodge brand. And it's caused a lot of damage to Dodge's reputation, to Stellantis' reputation about getting product out. And the honest to God thing, if you go on to Mopar Insiders about a week and a half ago, I wrote an article about how Dodge should have launched the cars. They should have launched the internal combustion engine cars right off the bat. It would have made more sense. They're cheaper, more than likely cheaper than the electric vehicles. They have lower horsepower ratings, but they could have built it up into, hey, here's why we're doing this electric thing. But they decided not to do that. So, yeah, it's just a lot of basically a lot of chaos going on at the company. But it looks like they're trying to fix as many problems as they can, especially with the launch of these ICE cars. So, what makes the Charger SIXPACK different than the Daytona? Let's talk about that real quick, and then I will kind of go through how they're pushing these cars up. So, we do know that they have built a handful, at least a couple months ago, or a month ago, I should say. They built not a handful, I would say about 9, I think it was, I was told, of six-pack like pilot models to drive. So they're working on them now. So it's not like it's going to be like a ways out. The interesting thing is we were supposed to see these cars in the fall. Now I'm hearing we're going to probably see these cars at dealers by late spring, maybe early summer. So hopefully we'll see them then. But let's go through and look at the six-pack models, and then I'll show you an article I wrote for today that's kind of a follow-up to this. So if you look at these, basically the six-pack models, let me go through this stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to talk real quick about these. I'm sure a lot of people know all about these cars, but we're going to go through it anyways. So this is the coupe. They haven't shown a six-pack sedan yet, but it should look just like the Daytona sedan, but it should have the same front. Now, what you notice about this front that's totally different than the rest of the like Daytona lineup is the first thing you're going to notice is it's got this mail slot grille. Okay, the mail slot grille is for additional cooling because of the internal combustion engine. All right, you're also going to see that it's got a different kind of front intake, lower intake, again for maximum cooling. When you have electric motors down low, you can have a little bit of air coming underneath the car, and you don't need a big open grille like this thing. Now, on the Daytona, it has the R-wing. So if you look at the Daytona, this actually passes through and comes up over the hood. Now, if you've seen from other pictures of the Daytona, it has a very small frunk on the Plus group package models that you can probably put. I don't even think you can put a helmet in it. I'd be shocked if you could. You could probably put like your car, like detailing supplies in it. It's not that big. But with this car, you don't get the R-Wing because there's an internal combustion engine in it. And the one weird thing about the Hurricane engines are, unlike the Hemis, these inline sixes are really long. So they actually like can't jam them into certain former Hemi models. So like for example, if you look at the Jeep Wagoneer, or not Jeep Wagoneer, I'm sorry, Jeep Grand Cherokee, that's coming out with a new 4-cylinder model. They're not bringing the inline six to it. And the reason why is because of the fitment. It was actually too long. So with this car, instead of having the R-Wing, it's got this big power dome hood, and you can see just how big this hood sits up on the car, and it looks great. I like the fact that there isn't like a duct, like a NACA duct, like the Hellcats. I like that fact. It just looks muscular. Like I said, you can see the radiator behind the grill here. One interesting thing about this car is you notice the Fratzog on it. Now the Fratzog, when I was at Dodge Speedweeks in 2022, Tim Kuniskis told us all that all the electrified models for Dodge were going to get the Fratzog logo, while the Rombi, which is that dual slash logo that Dodge has had for a while, that would be on the internal combustion engine cars. That's not going to happen. Dodge is going to have Fratzog logos across the lineup. From basically after this car's launched, we're going to see, after the Durango's replaced, and we're probably going to see a Hornet update probably in 2026. So we'll probably see the Fratzog being used across the lineup around 2026. But the Charger's going to be the first one to use it on internal combustion for sure. Again, no fog lights, which is weird. I don't like the fact that it doesn't have fog lights, but these are actual, it looks like just cheap plastic ducts, but this actually, over here and on the sides, they actually have air curtains that go around and help cool the brakes. All these cars will have reflective LED headlights. We know the Banshee, the 800-volt car, will probably have a hopefully projector headlights, LED projector headlights, kind of like the Concept did. So I don't doubt Dodge will come out with a different version of this car, like a more powerful Hurricane. There's been rumors around saying like, hey, we're going to produce a more powerful Hurricane engine. And even Mickey Bly, who's in charge of the powertrains, propulsion systems for Stellantis, said that, you know, they're going to have something in the works. We've even talked about it on Mopar Insiders because they kind of hinted at that a Ram TRX might be coming back to the lineup, but with a different, obviously not going to be a Hemi. So we wouldn't doubt that there's going to be another Hurricane variant coming. Probably something to be competitive with what the Hellcat was. So keep that in mind. But the car looks great. I think it looks really good up front. Dodge needs to get these cars out in front of people because a lot of people say, I hate that car. I'll tell you what, 99% of the people that are on the internet complaining about this car have not seen this car in person. I have not seen the six-pack model, but I absolutely love the Daytona. I think the Daytona looks super sharp. I think a lot of people will fall in love with this car once they see it in person. So this picture right here, this would be the front of the car here, up front here. If you can see the transmission's down here. This is the engine cover. It says six-pack on it. We'll see another picture of it here soon. Here's the new suspension up front. They will have adjustable Bilstein suspension just like the outgoing Hellcat and SRT models, Scat Pack models. So these cars will have adjustable suspension just like them. Let's go to... Okay, so this is the Power Dome hood. This would be the grille up front here. So this actual heat extractor is towards the front of the hood, but it's reversed, so when you sit in the car, you will be able to see this six-pack imprint hidden in the actual vent. I like that. It looks really looks kind of slick to me. Here's another picture of that font, that new six-pack font on the engine cover of the Hurricane. Now this is what's pretty interesting here. So this appears to be a track pack model. The reason why I say that is it's got 6-piston Brembo brakes up front. Now, all 6-pack model cars at launch will at least be all-wheel drive, okay? If you look here, this is the front wheel, obviously, because there's that 6 pistons. There's 4 pistons in the rear. This is a 305. Well, from what I hear, it'll be a carryover. So what people don't understand is these cars actually have a natural wide body built into them. They don't have like the bolted-on fender flares that everybody calls a wide body on the outgoing cars. These cars are super wide. So in the back, it'll be able to fit 325 rear rubber in it. So this right here looks to be a track pack model. If you notice, this is what I'm going to point out to you. If you notice these wheels, they're kind of like a dual 5-spoke star kind of pattern. I'm going to keep that in mind when I go through these pictures. I'm going to show you something a little different coming up. And again, Fratslog logo in the middle. Here's an overlook of the car. One thing you'll notice is, again, from the sides, it looks pretty much identical to the electric models. The gas cap that will be used on the 6-pack is actually the same exact door and everything used for the electric charging port for the car. So all the body panels will be the same except for the hood, front fascia, and the rear lower fascia. So yeah, if you're looking at it from the side, obviously you can see how big that power dome is. And you can see the vent, the heat extractor sticking out through there. So I'm really excited about this model. I think this model will be a great addition to the Dodge lineup. And people can complain all they want about this turbo inline 6. This isn't the first Dodge Charger to have a turbo engine. We had in the 80s, we had that little Shelby Charger with the 2.2 liter 4-cylinder, and people love that thing. So here's the back of the car. As you can see, looks pretty much the same down the sides. The back looks the same. This one is obviously a track pack because it's got a spoiler on it. But what you'll notice the difference is it's got dual exhaust. And on the Daytona ones, the electric ones, they say Daytona instead of Charger. This one obviously says Charger. But what I love about the new car is, if you can go back through some of my articles or even some of the videos on here where I posted videos of walking around the new Charger Daytona, is the lower part of the cars, this part here, is not just black plastic. It's all painted. So it makes the car look so much more upscale compared to like just the plastic on the Challenger and on the old Chargers going out. Everything's like painted on the car. So it just gives it a more premium look. And of course, again, we look at the grille here. This is a closer image. You can notice that some of that mail slot grille is not used. But the main middle part is. Down here, these aren't functional either, but the lower part of the grille is, and obviously that's the adaptive cruise control. Like I said, there's air curtains down here, so you can get cooled air to the brakes. You can see that radiator sitting back there. You can also see this camera sitting up here for the 360 camera. So you're going to have a full cameras all around the car and a bird's eye view of the car as well with the certain packages. So all right. Like I said, if you looked at that wheel design right there, if you went to Mopar Insiders today, I posted a secondary follow-up article. I tried to look them up on Instagram. However, TikTok won't allow me to put certain things on the website. But there's a guy who posted some images of a 2025 Dodge Charger 6-pack that was he spotted in somebody's driveway in Metro Detroit. So his name is it's Dark KLM. So it's DRK KLM. He's on TikTok. He's also on Instagram, but he doesn't post much on Instagram. So I got a link to his TikTok there. But he posted 2 images, and when I blew them up, they kind of like lost a lot of their clarity. But if we go through, we can see here that these wheels are different. It's still got the 6-pack It's still got the track pack on it because it's got a spoiler, It's got the red Brembos. But if you look here, it's got the track pack wheels from the Daytona on it. First thing you can tell is the six-pack is, look at the hood. It's got that power dome hood on it. It doesn't have the flow through there. But the big giveaway is the rear of the car. If you come down here, it says Charger on it, and it has the dual exhaust coming out the back. So Dodge has built a number of these cars at the Windsor plant. They are starting to get into engineers' hands. That's a follow-up and saying, hey, these cars are being pushed forward because they want these cars built in showrooms. So, very interesting. It's not huge news, but it's big enough news that I wanted to report on it. I wanted to talk to you guys about it because a lot of people have been asking, like, hey, we hate this electric crap. You know, what about a replacement for the Hemi? That's what this is. And the interesting thing is, the sedan will have a 420 horsepower standard output inline six. The coupe will be launched with a 550 horsepower high output model. They're all going to be automatics, unfortunately. Sorry, guys who wanted a 6-speed manual. It's not going to happen. They're all going to be launched with all-wheel drive. But I wouldn't put it past Dodge because Dodge has always been known to, like, hey, we're going to launch cars here and then we're going to expand the lineup the next year. So don't doubt yourself for 2026 that you're not going to see, like, maybe a rear-wheel drive model only, or you might see the high output go into the sedan. I don't doubt that at all. So don't get your hopes up like, oh man, like, they're never going to build a high output sedan. They probably will. It just depends on what the market is. I guarantee that they want to keep the lineup fresh. So these are going to be like the most popular ones that they want to launch first. So again, we're probably going to see these late spring, maybe early summer, just in time for cruising. I do not doubt we will see these before the Woodward Dream Cruise. I know Dodge will probably be pushing these big time during Woodward Week because they did the same for the Charger Daytona, and of course that hasn't been out yet, but they want to get these cars in the showrooms as soon as possible. So I got some more interesting information about the Charger not Charger Daytona, but the Charger SIXPACK coming up this week. So stay tuned to Mopar Insiders. I'm sure I'm going to do a video on it. And we got some info coming out. Technically it's today because I'm posting this video tomorrow, but on the new Wagoneer S, the new electrified, all-electric Jeep Wagoneer S. So that should be good for some people that are looking for information that have ordered that vehicle. So stay tuned to Mopar Insiders. Come back here. I'm going to try to do a live stream later this week. And I'm going to try to post a couple more videos this week. So stay tuned. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you can see when the videos come out. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.